You ever notice the worst days, the bad ones that turned you around, end up making you the most? Bizarre, I guess. We flee so long from pain, flee from embarrassment, away from the cruel words, the disappointments, the broken hearts. And yet if you look back, those are the exact pages that mold you, the torn edges that taught you who you were. See, we're conditioned to think pain is the enemy, something to eliminate, heal, avoid. But what if I were to tell you, pain is not the enemy? What if I were to tell you, pain is half the fight? Let that register for a second. It's a difficult idea, but bear with me. Think of any great story, any real growth in your life, and I'll bet it wasn't born out of ease. It came through friction, through loss, through that pit in your stomach when life knocks the wind out of you. But here's the hidden truth: pain isn't just an unfortunate side effect of life's battles. It is the battle, and it's also the proof that you're still standing in the arena. We prefer to see success as a tidy rise. But life, it is chaos. It is stumbling over your own fears, fumbling through rejection, arrival after your heart is broken. Pain has a way of introducing itself in us. It tugs at the heart even when it pains too much to bear. But that's where the shock factor is, that everyone forgets pain isn't suffering. It's information. It's cold, raw data from life speaking to you and saying you're alive. You care. You're growing. That hurt after you've screwed up, that kick of rejection, that sting of loneliness, it means you're growing out of your comfort zone. And yeah, it hurts. But so does leveling up. Look at nature. A seed is rent asunder before one will ever have a tree. Muscles are rent asunder before they are mighty. Even dawn rends the sky asunder at sundown. Suffering belongs to becoming. The ancient Stoics, Marcus Aurelius Seneca, Epictetus, they get it more than anyone. They did not push the suffering aside, but approached it as a teacher to be embraced. Consider that frame of mind for a minute. Instead of pushing suffering away, they approached it. They saw suffering as training, the tough, beautiful way of being that tempered the character. Marcus Aurelius once spoke of the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Read it again: what stands in the way becomes the way. Pain is not in your way, it is the way. It does appear beautiful, I confess. But in the instant, pain does not seem beautiful at all. It's raw, it's messy, it's suffocating. But it's how you approach it that changes everything. Because when you begin to realize that pain is preparation, not punishment, the flaws in your armor are growth rooms. I know it's so easy to tune out, distract yourself when it all becomes too much. We fill our lives with noise, scrolling, streaming, working too much. But pain doesn't disappear because we don't want to see. It hangs around, it waits, and then it demands to be heard. But the fact is, to hurt doesn't mean to get bogged down. It's not hurting to hurt. It's seeing its purpose. It's balance, the union of depth and lightness, gravitas and playfulness. Because although we delve so deeply into the most painful lessons in life, we must not be heavy. We must not be stuck. We must instead ask, what is this teaching me? Rather than, why is this happening to me? I'll tell you something. This young rival, starving, concentrated, trained daily, but every injury, every loss was betrayal. Like the world was punishing them. They detested the pain, resisted it, almost quit. But one time there was an older coach who sat next to them and said to them, "You've got it backwards. You think that pain is failure, but it's fighting." That changed everything. The second, "Oh yes, but never a reason to give up." Remind us something was being accomplished. Muscles were being rebuilt. Strength was being hammered out. That competitor, they became unstoppable, not because they hadn't been concerned with the pain, but because they'd learned to endure it, to let it shape them, not destroy them. Yes, suffering humbles. It strips away delusions of mastery, but it does demand strength as well. Strength that is firm, unbreakable, and cannot be replicated. You only find that in the fire. And that's where it gets real. The majority of the time, the wise type of pain isn't physical, it's emotional. The breakups, the losses, the not so obvious wars. And those are most likely the hardest because no one is watching. But they do add up. They do matter. Just because the world isn't watching your quiet struggle doesn't mean it isn't defining you. Those internal wounds, those are the ones that transform us the most. They birth empathy, to patience, to depth, You start seeing people differently because you've visited the depths yourself. Pain connects us, reminds us that all these people are carrying around invisible weights. And when we know that, that makes us gentler, kinder, but also tougher, smarter, more alive. Now, before I wrap up this first section, I want to leave you with something to ponder. The second time life knocks you in the face, the second heartbreak, loss, or failure, stop. Breathe. And recall, this is not proof you're weak. It's proof you're in the battle. And hurting. It's over halfway to the end of the battle. It's halfway that makes you strong enough to emerge victorious. Lean into it. Don't fear it. And above all, don't forget you're not alone in this. We're all fighting silent battles. So share yours. Drop your story, your questions, your thoughts in the comments below. Let's build a space where pain becomes connection and struggle becomes strength. Stay tuned because we're just getting started. Let's go deeper for a second. Consider this: each mountain you've ever ascended, literally or metaphorical peaks of life, what was it about the panorama at the top that made it worthwhile? Convenience? Comfort? No, it was the perspiration, the calluses, the times you thought about giving up but didn't. Suffering is what makes the triumph worthwhile. Without pain, achievement feels hollow. It's like watching someone else's highlight reel without knowing their behind-the-scenes struggles. But when you've carried the weight, stumbled, fallen, gotten back up, that success, it sticks to your bones. It's yours. No one can take that from you. We're surrounded by the culture of addiction to the shortcut. Instant fix, instant gratification. But the soft truth they won't put on billboards and social media handles: shortcuts take your depth away from you. They short-circuit the struggle and with it the lessons. They offer you ease at the cost of transformation. You don't build unbreakable confidence in comfort zones. You get it by pushing through fire and being able to stand up and declare, "I'm still standing." Each scar is a testament, not one of weakness, but of survival. The Stoics knew that years back. They did not idealize pain, simply endured it as inevitable. Epictetus, a slave at birth, beaten, censored, yet made whole by suffering. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's the attitude that flips it around. It takes your helplessness even to be hurt. Because here's the hard, ugly truth: hurt is going to come. Life's going to bruise you. You're going to lose people, fail, feel rejected. That's the way it is. That's human nature. But how you respond to that hurt, that's where your strength lies. Envision a sword being forged. It's immersed in the fire, pounded, shaped under persistent pressure. Without the fire, it's weak and tough. You're not different. Your heartbreak, your breakups, your tantrums are the fire. They are toughening you up. Tougher, unbreakable. But, and then the kick. It's not all grind. Life isn't a grind each day. There is room in there for joy, for wonder, even laughter in the mix. That's the equation, the balance between gravity and levity. You can stay a while in your sorrow, let it teach you, and still laugh, still be amazed at sunsets, still chase dreams with wide eyes of wonder. And actually, sometimes revolution is humor. It's proof that no matter how hard life has tried to shatter you, you can still keep your beacon on. That is toughness also. It's the quiet after the hurricane. The atmosphere is different. The world is bruised and still somehow alive. That's what hurts, does it? Strips you naked, lets light in, but only if you'll allow it to be. There's also a piece of this we don't want to witness: the anticipation of pain ahead. How many times do we allow fear of hassle to prevent us from beginning? Fear of rejection keeps us from loving. Fear of failure keeps us from pursuing dreams. We play small to avoid danger, but if we do that, we'll lose potential. But the instant you understand pain is more than half the battle, fear's grip is diminished. You start to see the pain, the clumsy first steps, the danger. It's proof that you're leaning forward, growing, alive. Consider living life in such a way. Every tumble, a test. Every failure, a hidden lesson. Life no longer seems quite so much a series of punishments, but an adventure, grubby, unpredictable, but worthwhile every scrape. I want to say something that most of the world never gets the chance to hear. You're not broken for hurting. You're not weak for fighting. You're human, whole, beautifully human. And to be human is to endure pain, but it's to endure resilience, hope, and the chance to rise again. Sometimes it feels like the world expects us to bounce back overnight, to patch ourselves up, slap on a smile, and move on. But real healing, it's not linear. It's messy. Some days you'll feel strong, other days fragile, and that's okay. Strength isn't about never falling, it's about getting back up over and over, even if your legs shake. And then the sweet irony, the more you struggle to work at your pain, the more you release and become happy. For running from pain does not protect you, it anesthetizes you. But to allow the full range of life and the highs, the lows, the bumpy stuff, that's where you become deep. Remember those people who in your estimation are simply amazing, those of presence, those of depth and wisdom. I promise you they've experienced heartache. They've experienced loss and failure and shattered hearts. But they didn't let it shut down. They let it mold them. And now, they move with deep strength. So can you. I leave you with this. The second time when things get real heavy, the second time you're tempted to run from pain, stop. Breathe. Pain is not a sign to turn around. It's a sign to lean forward, to stretch, to become. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this shaping me? And through it all, don't lose your curiosity, your joy, your ability to laugh even through tears. Because life's not just about surviving pain, it's about dancing with it, finding beauty in the mess, letting every scar remind you you're still here, still fighting, still becoming. And that's more than half the battle. If this post has resonated with you, if you've battled secret wars, or you've learned from the wounds that have been inflicted on you, write your story. Comment. Because your pain, your courage, it's all of the human material that makes us human. You're stronger than you know, and your story is far from over. Stay curious, stay brave, and I'll see you in the next one.